Hello, Ursarctic fans. I have built a bit of an abomination that I took to locals. It went well. It actually went surprisingly well. I got the 2-0 branded. It was shockingly strong for what I was expecting. I expected to not win any games, but I did win quite a good number, more than half. But obviously the deck needs tweaking. I built it like 2 days ago, so I haven't quite finished it yet. But I do want to go through the list because I'm actually super happy with how it performed, considering it feels a little unfinished. But here we go. Here we go. First up, three McPolar. This card is just great. It's just Stratos for the deck. Essentially, you summon it, you search any Ursarctic. It's just another way into your big bears, and it's also providing a little bear. So in this deck, little bears just 7. Anything that is a level 7 is counted as a little bear. This is obviously a little bear because it's level 7. Obviously, it has to be non-tuner, but there's very few tuner 7s. Two each of Megatennis, Megapolar, and Megabilis. You just want to see one of these at least. Seeing two is fine, but if you see one, you're kind of set up for the game. Obviously, you do need to see two bears to do the Ursarctic line. It just has to be any two bears and a 7. Now, this is both a 7 and a bear, so little bear in that case. And then these are big bears that are tuners. You can make do with a level 4 monster and a big bear, but you ideally want to get two bears so you can do the full Ursarctic combo. Next we have 3 Fenrir. This is a little bear because it's a level 7. It special summons itself very easily, and it can be tributed for Ursarctics. They just have to tribute a card from hand that is level 7 or higher. So you can play one, search another one, and then immediately tribute the one in hand that is now unplayable to put out an Ursarctic. If that's a bigger Ursarctic, then boom, you've already got Polari. The downside to that, obviously, is that you've only got one bear in grave, so Polari can't summon, which is a bother. Unless you have another one in hand. That's why you need 2 bears. But this card's insane. Obviously, this card should just be at 3 in almost every deck, especially this deck where I just need 7s. It does so much for the deck, just by existing. 3 Nib. This card is just good. This card's just really strong in this format. So Nib is fine. Now here's the part where we get weird, right? This is the part that we all wanted to see. 1 each of Kazajin, Suijin, and Sangha. First and foremost, these are not dead draws as long as you have a Ursarctic, because you can just tribute them from hand for the Ursarctic. So drawing them is fine. Getting 3 of them obviously works very well because you can use them for Gate Guardian combined. So generally, you actually kind of want to draw these. If you can draw 2 of these and a way to the third piece, or 1 and 2 ways to the third piece, you're fine. If you can get all 3 to hand or field or grave in your first turn, it's ideal. So drawing them isn't even bad. And then if you draw them and can't do a Gate Guardian line, you can just tribute them for Ursarctic pieces. Next up is obviously 3 Labyrinth Tank. This is just phenomenal for this deck, right? It's a 7, so it works as a little Ursarctic, because you can go into Polari with it. It works as a normal summon that the deck already does not have, so I don't have a normal summon outside of this and a couple other cards. But Ursarctics naturally don't have a normal, so that's fine too. And it grabs you a Gate Guardian piece and puts it in your Spell Trap Zone, which is really good for just setting you up for your Gate Guardian place. This card is just phenomenal. If you have your field card, like the Labyrinth field card, then obviously it's also really good because it pops a card too, but that came up one time. And it was to clear the Nib token that I made that was 7k, and I was like, okay, I'll just clear it with this. and also Gate Guardian full game, which I will explain a little more as to like the combo lines and stuff after. Three Shadow Ghoul, you want to see Labyrinth Wall. Labyrinth Wall is legitimately one of the greatest cards ever made. Just based on the things it does. It does so much so easily. You want to see as many copies as possible. I assure you know if you see 3 copies of Labyrinth Wall, you're fine. That's great. That's Gate Guardian combined. So 3 of this is an extra 3 copies of Labyrinth Wall. And unfortunately, it is a 5. I've never used the Grave effect, the blow up a card, mostly because I forgot, and mostly because the game ended before it mattered. But it's still good card, good card. All right, now we're getting even weirder, right? It wasn't just Ursarctic Gate Guardian wasn't weird enough. We have to go a little harder. Armageddon Knight and Dark Grapher. We know what these are for. We need this, and we need this. These are phenomenal. This whole line is crazy. So either one of these, this one you have to have a discard for, so it's not as good. But between the Shadow Ghouls, the heavy tanks, like obviously if you're normal summoning this, you're not normal summoning the heavy tank. Or just drawing extras of these, this is playable. I think I only saw one hand where I had this and couldn't use it, but the rest of my hand was cracked with like Fenrir and stuff, so it didn't matter. And obviously Armageddon Knight is just better, but they're both limited, so 1 each. Immediately you want to put Destrudo in grave. Sometimes you want this. This gives you another of the Labyrinth Wall. So you play this, you bounce the Labyrinth Wall, you play it again, and then you trigger it again. And that's a Gate Guardian piece. So this engrave with a Labyrinth Wall or a Shadow Ghoul is immediately one of the little Gate Guardian fusions. It's just a crazy card. It's also level 4. As you'll see, my tuners, because they're Ursarctic, are level 8. So these just go into Final Sigma. Like, it's just a free Final Sigma as well as other things. Ideally, you want Destrudo as well. Destrudo comes out, makes any level 7. You use this to make Ancient Fairy Dragon, or if you're in a pinch, Black Rose is available. So, yay. Okay, Guardians are separate for now. And then these don't matter. Alright, next we have this. This is probably the worst call I've ever made. But it was corrected with the information I had at the time. 1 Dark Arm Dragon. Did you know Destrudo is at 3? I did not. This is a small world target. Literally, it's just a small world bridge to get from any level 7 or McBillis into any dark or vice versa. If I had have known Destrudo was at 2 when I built the deck and before I went to the event, I would have just played 2 Destrudo here. It just should be a second Destrudo. There was one game, I cited this out almost every game. There was one game I had to banish my 1 of Destrudo with Small World, which sucks. But having a second Destrudo instead of Dark Armed is way better. I never once was able to summon it. The other ideal thing is it's a 7, so you can just tribute it if you do draw it for an Ursarctic, which isn't the worst. It's just not ideal either. So second Destrudo, please. Not this Dark Arm garbage. This little line here is just phenomenal. Alright, next we have 3 Ursarctic Departure. This gives you 2 Ursas. Just gives you 2 polar bears. That's all you need is 2 polar bears, and you've got the full Ursarctic line. As long as you have like 2 things to tribute / discard, which is fine. Or if you just have like a Cashier or a Labyrinth Tank or Destrudo, like anything else. If you can just put a 7 on board, this equals Septentrion or Grand Chariot, whatever you want. This is Ash bait too, so like you will just get ashed. If they have it, they'll ash this, and it sucks. It hurts. 1 Big Dipper, you search it as part of your combo. So as soon as Big Dipper hits, as soon as you like do your Ursarctic combo and Polari hits the board, you activate Big Dipper from deck. This card's not perfect right now. It's hard to get it to 7 without your opponent just removing it. It's hard to protect. But it's got other uses outside of just being a potential snatch seal 1 in like 50 games. Labyrinth Wall, 3 of this. This card is nuts. This card is just so silly. I can't believe they made this. It gives you a Gate Guardian piece as a soft once per turn, so if you can bounce it or just play another one, you get 2 Gate Guardian pieces. That's any little Gate Guardian fusion. If you can get 3 of it, insane. You've got the big one. Terraforming, it's just another Labyrinth Wall, so we're running the Labyrinth Wall at 7 copies. This, obviously, I just said that I get ashed and I'm in trouble, so this just stops ash. Choose Small World. Someone was borrowing my third, so I didn't have access to it. So I'm running just 2. This card is good for just fixing hands. You can take your dead Fenrir, the one that you've just searched, and then turn it into Armageddon Knight or any Ursarctic card, which is essentially all you need. Nothing else matters at that point. So this card is just crazy. It's just everything. Yeah, seeing that plus Fenrir is like full combo, almost. Rhoda to search for the Armageddon Knight and Dark Grepher if you need it. Foolish Burial to bypass Dark Grepher and Armageddon Knight and just put things in the grave that you need. Sometimes you need a Ursa in there. Sometimes you want to get Guardian piece because you've got 2. And sometimes you just want to put Destrudo or Zephyrus the Elite. In all situations, it's great. It's shockingly, it didn't come up as much as I wanted it to. Every time I drew it, I was like, but I have everything. This is just a dead card. 3 Foolish Burial Goods. We have some spells and traps that we want, or 1 trap that we want in grave. This is essentially just a searcher for any card in the deck almost. It searches any Gate Guardian piece or any water monster, which also is conveniently a Gate Guardian piece. So any Ursarctic or any Gate Guardian piece this searches, which is kind of nuts. So we're running, for the last few cards, we are running 1 of Double Attack and 1 of Ryoko Guardian. These are searchable. You can search them if you need them, so you don't want to be drawing them. If you do draw them and you've got Departure, you could just discard them and get your search. The search can be activated the same turn they're sent to the graveyard, so you Foolish Burial Goods them to add any Gate Guardian piece to your hand. That gives you a discard for Ursarctics, as well as leads you to your Gate Guardian combos. It's just, they're cool. As I said, run them at 1 because you can search them if you actually need their effects. This is an OTK card. If you activate this going second and your opponent can't stop you just swinging, you win. It's insane. Yeah, you do like 10,000 damage in 1 turn. So if they leave something in attack mode, you can just OTK this. And this is also for Foolish Burial Goods. It searches any water monster, but it locks you into waters for like 2 turns. So you need to be doing this last. Like you have to Fenrir first, you have to Gate Guardian first. One of the Gate Guardians is water, but it's like the worst one, so this is fine. Try to avoid using it, but also like sometimes in a pinch you need it. Next, 2 Polari. So onto the extra deck. This is like 48 cards, by the way. I could not cut it down any harder if I tried. 2 Polari. This thing is crazy. Honestly, I don't think you need to. The second one literally never came up. The game was just over too fast. But I guess, you know, as soon as I take it out, I'm going to need it. So 2 Polari, which sets up your Big Dipper. And then 1 each of Septentrion and Grand Chariot. This is remove 2 and protects from targeting. And this is stops Xyz and links and also searches. They're both good in their own ways. This one's good going second, this one's good going first. Just depends on what your opponent is playing to. But yeah, there's utility to both. Ancient Fairy Dragon. This card is still insane. So you do your standard Ursarctic combo. When you hit Polari, you activate Big Dipper from deck. So you got Big Dipper on field. You then Armageddon Knight Destrudo to make this. Blow up the Big Dipper to place Labyrinth Wall or to search Labyrinth Wall, and then you play the Labyrinth Wall, and now you're in your Gate Guardian combo as well as your Ursarctic combo at the same time. Obviously, you'd use the Big Dipper and Polari to bring back your 8 so you can make Septentrion. But yeah, so you'll have Septentrion on board, get rid of this because it's kind of bad, or kind of average, and then immediately go into your Gate Guardian line because of this. This is also a 7, so in a pinch, it can be used with an Ursarctic 8 to just make a polar bear. So that's funny as hell. Not once did the summon a level 4 come up. It probably should have, but it just didn't. um, Generally, like, you need your level 4 on the board to make this, so you're not going to make this. You can also, in a pinch, make it off Polari if you've already got the Destrudo engraved, because you can just tribute the Destrudo for Ursarctics anyway. It's not a big deal. So if you are desperate for Ancient Fairy Dragon, instead of Septentrion, you can use these two together to make anything else. To make this. Black Rose, sometimes you don't need Ancient Fairy Dragon. You've already got access to your field spell and a Gate Guardian combo. This is a board wipe in a desperate situation, but otherwise, it's also just a bridge. You just bridge through it. It's fine. 2 9s. So Polari plus a big Ursa doesn't have to go to a 7. It can also go to a 9. That's how math works for addition. This is draws if you're desperate, as well as it has removal. And this is Shen Shen if your opponent cares about their grave, which is really bad this format. Your opponent's not doing grave stuff. One Final Sigma. This is so easy to make because my tuners are level 8. So Final Sigma's fine. Tornado Dragon. So it does come up that sometimes through my combo I end up with Armageddon Knight or Dark Griffer on board with what's the other one? Zephyrus. You just make this before you summon any Ursas and you're fine. Obviously, if you make Septentrion, it turns him off. He has no effect. But you put him out and he just pings continuous stuff that Kashtira plays. So it's kind of good for that. Obviously, if you're against Labyrinth, you can ping things in the end phase before they like pass turn. So it's good. It's probably one of the best rank 4s in this format. Just because it hits back row and stops things that activate on summon like the Kashtira field spell. So yeah, fan of that. It doesn't come up often, but it definitely does come up. A Draco Sack. So if you summon Fenrir and Labyrinth Tank, you can overlay for this before you've even summoned an Ursa. Same with Fairy Dragon, I guess. You can do that too. Obviously, if you have Destrudo engraved, you can Destrudo one of the tokens, make Ancient Fairy Dragon, plus this with 1 token. That's pretty much all it's there for, is the fact that I can do it. It's just a very good rank 7 that I can utilize. Again, you have to summon these before you summon Ursas, because the Ursas lock you out of Xyz effects. And then 1 each of the Gate Guardian fusions. These things are crazy. Going first, this is great. 2 spell trap negates. Oh, nice evenly matched, bro. This is, I think this is this is the OTK one. If your opponent leaves an opening and you could kill them with 10,500 or less, then you play this because it swings for 10,500 basically. You play this, you search the Guardian, you make this 6,500 and halve their life points, and then just swing, and they're dead. This legitimately won games against like Branded. This is awful. This also won a game against Branded. I already had this, so if you've already got this in hand and you hard draw it, and you can make this one, go for it, because this makes something's attack 0 in damage step. So it's a 6,050. Their life points already halved. And then you ping them for, a 0 attack monster. You run over it, and it's in damage step, so there's very little they can do about it. This card is garbage otherwise, though. The only other good thing about it is it's water, so you can summon it under waterlock. And then Gate Guardians combine. This thing's nuts. The most nuts thing about this card is that it floats. So when they kill it, it floats into one of these 3. Generally, you're going to go the Spell Trap Negate. But you can also do this one. just for if they're running over you with bigger monsters. But like, what monsters are bigger than these things? They're huge. And then when these die, they summon the other Gate Guardians that actually have like a kind of neat effect. They can make something's attack 0 in damage calc. So they're just really defensive. It's a once while phase up on the field, but it's fine. Yeah, these things are nuts. Oh, also, these are 9s. So this plus a polar bear, like a big polar bear, the 8s, the tuners, you can still make Polari with these two. So you can make this one, search this, destroy a card, immediately banish it for another Gate Guardian piece, pitch that Gate Guardian piece for Mega Billis, make Polari. It's cracked. It's crazy how much these things do. So yeah, you're getting a destruction and a Polari off of just, 2 Labyrinth Walls or something. And obviously 1 polar bear. Yeah, so the deck is wild. It does a lot of things. Oh, and side deck. Sorry, I forgot about side deck. 3 Ash Blossom. It's good against a couple decks, especially branded. 4 Bestials. I don't like Mathmech. So this is for Mathmech matchup. D-Barrier. This is for quite a few matchups. It's just a good card. Every deck should be siding 3 of this right now. 2 Gamma Seal. Gamma Seal is removal, obviously, so it's good for removing things like the Kashtira thing. It's also searchable with Forge Burial Goods because it's water above level 5. And then 3 Imperm. It's just, look, I'd rather be maining this card, but I just didn't have the space. I'm already well over my cap. So sadly, no, I'm not maining it. The deck is wild. You can do like an unbelievably large amount of things with this deck. It blew my mind just how like diverse your play options are and things like that. We'll just run through like 1 or 2. We'll go 2 quick test hands. Watch me just break on both of these, right? Especially because I just sorted the cards. So we gotta like do a quick shuffle. Alright, we're gonna have a look here. Rhoda, Shadow Ghoul, Dark Armed, Foolish, Fenrir. So you Fenrir, right? Fenrir's cool. Fenrir for another copy of Fenrir. This is kind of bad. You obviously want to pitch this. So you can grab the spell. You want a Rhoda for, not Dark River, obviously. Armageddon Knight. So you're still in a good spot here. Armageddon Knight gets you to, where is he? Destrudo, I guess, but we're also just going to do this. That's the engrave. And then we're also going to grab Zephyrus while we're here. So Zephyrus engrave. You do field spell, obviously. Sorry, grave should be over here. A little confusing because I'm doing this upside down. So field spell, you grab Kazajan first because it goes into your best 2. So your best 2 guys use Kazajan. So we're on Kazajan. You then will Zephyrus, bouncing this, and then you play it again. And then from the play it again, we're going to grab, doesn't overly matter. You can't, I think Sewage here because we're, playing a first turn, a go first sort of hand. So we got these 2. Now we can make Tornado Dragon here, but I think the better play is to, that doesn't work either. So yeah, you make Tornado Dragon plus the Spell Trap Negate one, which is kind of fine. Where is he? So that's your own board on that. And that was like, that's a pretty bricky hand. You've opened this, you've opened 2 ways into your Dark Line. So that was not the greatest hand. I didn't see an Ursa. So we didn't really get to show off the diversion between two combos, but that's still fine. Watch me draw like 3 of the same cards, even though those were all one-offs, except for Fenrir, obviously. Oh, 2 Fenrirs is really bad, right? This is awful. I can't do much with this at all. There's almost no point trying. Yeah, this is like Draco Sack Pass, I swear. Like I can Destrudo, but Destrudo doesn't help. So you will brick sometimes. It's obviously possible to brick. 2 Fenrirs is not ideal. Like 47 cards, and I see 2 of this guy. Let's try one more. This is already a great hand. It's got Labyrinth Wall. Ah, that's crazy, right? I don't think we can even play this line, but we'll see. We'll see. So this obviously searches for the first Gate Guardian piece. Always Kassagen. This will search for the second by sending. We're going to go combination. We don't need it, and then you just banish the combination for the second piece to hand. Where is he? Actually, I don't know if we want Sylvan here. We're going to grab Sylvan because I can't be bothered searching again. So you can then summon Sylvan. Like, summon the Big Polar and search again for Mega Polar. Obviously, the issue here is if you summon Labyrinth Tank, you've got Gate Guardians combined. But if you summon this, you've got the Ursarctic line. I feel like I'd almost just go for the Ursarctic line here. Oh, wait, the Gate Guardian line here. It's harder to out than the Ursarctic line. But that's just, my thoughts on it. Obviously, if this was any other level 7 or higher card, that's full combo. That's both lines. But I'll go through just like an ideal hand sort of thing. So we want, let's just say we've drawn a Kassagen. Like, genuinely drawing one of these is fine. We want one of these, obviously, because it's crazy. Crazy card. And then Armageddon Knight, Fenrir. If I could pick my hand, I'd pick these, right? The other cards can literally be like whatever. It doesn't matter. We're just going to do a Labyrinth Tank just because we can. So here, you're going to Departure, you're going to pitch the Kassagen, right? You don't need that. So you're grabbing 2 Ursas. You're going to grab a Little Bear and a Big Bear. And then whether or not we use Little Bear is still optional. We're going to be summoning the Fenrir for another Fenrir. And then we do want the Ursarctic line here. We will summon. Ooh, whoops. I did make a slight boo-boo. We're going to make this something else. Make it a small world. Right, so that's a small world. There you go. In this situation, we will small world the Fenrir. So Fenrir will go into Dark Arm Dragon. Obviously, a Destrudo would be better, but that's fine. Ooh, I don't know if we can go into Dark Arm Dragon. We're going to go into because we want to actually put Destrudo in our hand. So we're going to go into a Mid-Polar. So 777, bada bing. We've got this. We're going to toss this for this one, which searches for a Polar. It doesn't matter what Ursa you grab here. Just grab whatever you need. Like, do you need a Flipper Monster? Do you need banish, whatever you want. You obviously will do this for this, whatever, and then we synchro for the Polari, which is actually an extra deck card. Polari then activates from deck one of your cards. So we're going to activate. Where is it? Big Dipper. So we've got Big Dipper on board as well as these two monsters. Polari will then banish this for this, and then we make Septentrion. And then we will normal summon, because we still haven't normal. Sending Zephyrus. So you got the Zephyrus here. And then obviously you Destrudo on this. You synchro into this one. You destroy the Big Dipper to play the field spell for Gate Guardians. So here we're suddenly in Gate Guardian combo without drawing any real pieces. And then you will Zephyrus. You'll activate this first for the next Gate Guardian piece. We're going for all three here, it doesn't matter. We bounce this to hand with Zephyrus to summon Zephyrus, play it again. And then getting the last Gate Guardian piece. So you see how like drawing one sets us up for Gate Guardians combined, right? Because we can then just boom, banish these two and the one that we discarded earlier. Realistically, you can go any Gate Guardian piece you want here, but you're going to go with combined, obviously, because it floats. So there's your end board. It's Fenrir, Septentrion, and this. This is the perfect end board. Like obviously, this is like one of the best end boards you can get. There's maybe a slightly better one where you've got Dark Grepher, so you can. No, that changes nothing. Dark Grepher changes nothing. So yeah, you can do a lot just with Small World essentially, but that's how you get into the Gate Guardian line without actually starting on the Gate Guardian line. You can just get through it with Ursa's plus Darks, but it's not perfect. Like obviously that's a 5-card combo. That's terrible. You can do like most of that stuff with almost any hand though. So most of your hands will get you into these good combos, and then Gate Guardians combined is crazy. All you need to do is draw one Gate Guardian piece because the whole deck is designed to bring out the twos, like the little Gate Guardian fusions. But you're obviously not going to do that every time. Oh, this is terrible. 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 Like, that's atrocious. I think my play is legitimately Fenrir pass. Like, unplayable. I got too much of my Dark Engine. Your Dark Engine should be one card. 2 at most. Like, you want to see one of your dark cards, and yes, I'm counting Foolish Burial as one of those dark cards. So there I saw 3. Destrudo is fine as long as I draw an Ursarctic. I didn't. But I have drawn a Gate Guardian piece. I can technically go for Gate Guardians combined, as well as Tornado Dragon, or that's pretty much it. There's no point going into Ancient Fairy Dragon here, which is unfortunate, but it's just, it doesn't do anything. It gets me into Big Dipper, and Big Dipper is something you don't want to be searching. So I would rather another field card starter, so you don't have to do, like, I'd rather swap out the Ursarctic engine for something else. Obviously, the Kashtira version would be a little stronger because you've got access to more things, but I love the synergy between these two decks. Anyway, thanks for watching me ramble on for 30 minutes about one of the most ridiculous decks you've ever seen that has just some weird lines and will really shake up your locals. Like, people are like, what the hell is this? I gave a guy depression with this. Like, he was like, how do I lose this? I can't believe it. Anyway, see you all next time.